Hello, everyone. Are you ready to be fired up? Because I sure am. I'm so excited. I've got Jennifer Watson, and she is a public speaker. What was the other thing you were? I gotta start over.
Love it.
Wait, I need to write that down. Hold on. I need to tell. Hey, everyone. Are you ready to be fired up? Because I sure am. We've got Jennifer Watson here. She is a health and wellness coach, a physical therapist, and she's a public speaker, and I can go on and on because she's got so much to talk about. And right now, with what's going on, I really want you to sit back and be ready to get your mind happy, to get your heart happy, so that you can go and thrive right now in this environment. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and have a quick little break, a quick little commercial. Just a reminder, everyone, this is Krista Mashore, and we've got our 3 clients in 30 days challenge. It is free right now due to what's going on, which means you'll be personally coached by me. Again, that's all you need to do is go to KristaMashore.com/challenge. That's KristaMashore.com/challenge, and I will be personally coaching you for free for the next 20 days. I'll see you there. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome. So happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, Krista. I'm excited. I'm actually really fired up to be here and just share a lot of knowledge. Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. So Jennifer is one of the few people that loves being on camera. I found that out about her before the podcast. So, right now with everything that's going on, Jennifer, you couldn't be a better guest to have. I truly believe that people need this right now more than ever. And so I kind of want to see if you can just give us some tips on how we can be mentally healthy, because if we're mentally healthy, then our businesses can continue to thrive.
100%. So, I've been a practitioner and a health coach so much of my career, Krista, and what I'm seeing with my clients, what I'm seeing with my colleagues, what I'm seeing with my friends is an area of health that we're really all struggling in right now that don't even have the coronavirus. We are in a lot of fear. We are a lot of fear about our health and many other things, and there's so many different tributaries of that fear. But our fear in health has really caused us to get offline with our mind, offline with our soul purpose, offline with our emotional self, because we're getting hit left and right by things in the media, by our friends, just everything that's going on. And when that happens, it really creates our disrelationship, I call it, with everything else in our life, including our business. I have so many rock star women right now that I coach, high achieving rock star women that are business owners that are like, Jennifer, I can't think of what to do next in my business. I can't think of what to do next with my husband, with my kids. I just feel so outside body. And what that is they're not in the right mindset. They're not in their spiritual self, their soul self, their path, their purpose. They're not in their emotional self because they've been hit, like I said, from left, right, from so much that's going on out there that we're connecting with. But there's a lot of great ways. There's 100% great ways to get your power back. And I want everybody to know that right now, you have so much power to create health now, even right now in the midst of everything. First and foremost, I honor those that have been hit physically by the virus. I honor those that have family members that have. Of course, we want to look at ways to create health and healing in these people that have actually gotten the coronavirus or have family members and friends. My heart is with them, but where I really want to focus today, Krista, is all those that are in fear of the virus, because it's sending them in spaces of health that are not good, and it is actually affecting their physical health. Remember, if your spiritual, emotional mindset is off, did you know it absolutely boosts, not at all, immunity? It actually suppresses immunity, okay? They have shown research that chronic fear, in this case chronic health fear, can decrease your immunity by 20% if you're in chronic fight or flight on fear of health. Think about that.
Well, the thing is, too, it isn't just people being afraid about the coronavirus. There's fear of the unknown. What happened, our world is changing from one day to the next, let alone 1 year or month or week to the next, right? And so people are afraid of losing their jobs. Are they going to have their career? Is their job going to be back there when they go back? Are they going to get a pay cut? Is their spouse going to get a pay cut? Is their spouse going to lose a job? Their kids are at home 24/7. They're ready to go crazy because of that alone, right? So they're wondering when their kids are going to go back, if their kids are going to go back. All of that, it's all of the unknown, all this change.
100%, and that's why I'm focusing so much on the spiritual emotional mindset right now, because it's not just the corona. You're absolutely right, Krista. It is the fear of the unknown, but I'm going to help you guys with some tips to kind of flip that. whether it's fear that you're going to get the virus, whether it's fear you're not going to have a job, whether it's fear of when, like you said, your kids are going to go back to school or not, whatever the fear is, I'm telling you, you can get yourself back into the right emotional, spiritual mindset of your health piece here, and you can create success in all these areas that you're worried about. We are never going to be productive when we're in fear state, right? Fear state is our fight or flight state, is our free state. We can't be creative there. We can't make appropriate action steps in our health, in our business, our relationships. We just cannot do it. And everybody is a little bit in, sometimes a lot in, depending on the person right now, in fear state. So my hope through this podcast today is we can teach you guys things in your emotional, spiritual mindset health to catapult you not only to kick coronavirus's ass and not be afraid, but also go out there and be abundant in money, in your business, in your relationships, because it actually can happen right now. We are in a beautiful, beautiful, Krista, time period to reset in every way. Because let me tell you right now, big news is out, and I know you know this, Krista. People are already worried and afraid of a lot of this stuff already. All the virus has done is it catapulted to another level. People have always been a little bit worried about health and death, okay? The top two fears, side note, of most human beings are death and poverty. Guess what are being triggered right now, okay? But I always like to flip it. We can be abundant in health and wealth, right? So what I really want people to understand is it's always been around, these fears, but now we were having this
amplified.
Yes, we have this beautiful, beautiful opportunity to reset, to pause, and analyze what is our biggest fear. Is it business? Is it I'm afraid that I'm not going to have food on the table? Is it health? Is it that I fear I'm going to die from this virus? Whatever it is, we can flip it. And I'm going to give you guys really quick and easy tips to reverse the mindset, which is the biggest piece right now. Biggest piece that's going to make all the other things fall into place. The first thing I want people to do is first look at their biggest fear. I know, Krista, you just rambled off a bunch of them, and you're right. There's a lot of different fears out there. But I want all my listeners out there to be thinking about what is your number one fear right now. I'm just going to say, yes, I fear that I'm not going to have enough money. We're going to be destitute. We're going to be broke. We're going to be poverty stricken. I'm just going to name that as a fear. What I want the person to do next is on a piece of paper, write down an empowering belief that is completely 180. Opposite of that. I have money flow easily and abundantly to me is a positive way of looking at it. So
in increasing quantities through multiple avenues.
That's another one. Money flows easily to me. I am abundant in money. My skill sets are bringing money to me beautifully and easily with flow and grace. Whatever it is that makes you expand in your heart and you feel good about. And I'm going to be honest, the first time you write down that opposite empowering statement, it's going to feel a little weird because if you've been in fear for a while, you're like, I don't know if that's true. It doesn't matter. Write it down anyway. Write down what feels good to you in that moment of expansion. So if it's, I am afraid of being broke. I am afraid of poverty, Jennifer. I get that. We want to honor that, but then we want to flip it. And I want you to write down that empowering statement of, whatever it is, money flows easily to me. I am abundant in money. My skill sets deserve to be financially abundant coming to me. Whatever the phrase is, it needs to be short and concise. And then the third part of this step is looking for evidence that it actually has already happened, Krista.
Being open to seeing and believing and letting it come, right? Because you get what you think. Energy goes where focus flows. Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I've had people say to me, but Jen, I don't have evidence in my own life. I'm going to say two things to that point. Yes, you do. All of us have at least one tiny thing from our long history. Everybody that's listening to your podcast right now are definitely past their 20s probably. Okay. They've been through hard times. They've had their fears and they've overcome and seen that there's some success in money somewhere. And so they have evidence somewhere in their own life. And if they feel like they don't have it right now, look at someone out on the news. Look at your neighbor, whoever you can find that's having financial abundance right now. If you feel like you don't have something in your history, I'm going to guarantee that you do. All of us do in some way, shape, or form, if you let yourself breathe and think about it. But if you can't think of it, go think about a neighbor, a person you think is successful that is kind of in your similar situation. They are out there. That's the next piece you're going to write down. These are things I give to my coaching clients all the time, Krista, because fear before we go anywhere with anyone, it's like saran wrap on a person's brain. we have to get past their major fear, or we're not going to be able to do any other work with them. So this piece that I'm giving you guys is gold. Okay. It's what I call the empowering belief statement process. I start with everyone with their biggest fear. What is your biggest fear? Own it. That's okay. We all have our fears. We all have had them. Then you flip it, you write an empowering statement, you write it down, because when you write it, there's something about the written word that changes also the biochemistry in your brain, just like visualization does. So writing and visualization are the top two activities to do when you're trying to change your brain chemistry, just FYI. So that's why writing this, you can say it out loud. I freaking say my empowering statements 3 to 4 times, 5 times a day if I'm having a hard day, just to make sure my mind's staying set in that positive frame of mind so I can see things, so things can come to me that are truth. Money comes to me. I am powerful and abundant in money. I have evidence of this, A, B, C, and D. I have now a lot of evidence of it in money myself, right? And that's awesome. Maybe some of your listeners only have one small thing, but it starts with stating and writing that empowering statement and evidence to back it, because you have to trick your brain. You have to.
So when you say evidence to back it, let's review this. So for example, if I'm having issues with money, as I'm just using an example, and I'm stressed, I'm going to lose everything, just like you said. So now an empowering statement is money comes easily and frequently in increasing quantities through multiple avenues, right? And then I write down something like maybe, what would that be? I'm not sure what to write down. Like maybe so, oh, when I bought my boat, or when I built my house, things like that.
Exactly. So that's a great example. So I have an example of myself. I opened my first PT practice in 2008, the crash. Everybody said I was going to lose money. It was going to fail. And I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm listening to fear. Fear is not where I'm going to be empowered and be enlightened and have my higher intelligence actually teach me things I need to do to run this business. Fear is not a good place for me to be. And it's not even truth. So what I did is I flipped it. I'm like, this clinic is going to flow with clients because I am here with my beautiful gifts to serve and heal people. Boom. Okay. My evidence was when I was managing all these other clinics that I was an owner of, that I was healing, and I was bringing people to their practice, and I was marketing, I was doing all these beautiful things that were bringing clients in. Why couldn't I do that now? You know what I mean? So that was my evidence. I got over my own fear of money in the last couple of years, and I've gone back to that story, 2008 crash, where everybody said that I wouldn't even succeed. I flipped the story, had evidence from my past, and guess what? It thrived. I sold it 4 years ago when I moved back out to Colorado. Boom. So when I get fear, when I go, I don't know if I can do this. Is this right to invest my money here? I could lose money. I go back to my evidence, and we all have it. But those were beautiful examples. Both your examples and mine are examples of taking that fear. It's going to creep up. And I want people to understand this. This technique is powerful.
And it works.
Fears are strong. They're your limbic, critter, primal brain saying, I want you safe. And we've heard this many times. So it's just like going to work out, Krista. If you wanted to say, hey, I want to, complete this marathon in 5 months, and you went to the gym once a week, would you probably complete the marathon or probably not complete it very well? Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Got to work on it.
Yes, with these fears, people think when I say this incantation that I want them to do, it's gold, but you better be doing it every single day and several times a day when you're trying to break free from the basic fear that you're coming from. And I'm telling you, this, out of any technique I've ever learned, and I've learned so many other things to help break people that are stuck in their mind and stuck in their business and stuck in their relationships. But this is where I always start, Krista. This is gold, because if you don't address your number 1, 2 fears and where it's coming from and flip it and give yourself evidence and do that every day, your brain is not going to learn very quickly. You need to give it new food, new information every day to make those new neural connections that are absolutely possible, which, by the way, side note, your brain has 100 million nerve endings in it, 100,000 blood vessels. I mean, think about this. It's the most adaptable organ in the human body, but we don't act like it. Like, yeah, I could go strengthen my quad, Jennifer. Give me, some quad sets, squats, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And we believe that, but we don't believe that this muscle right here has such an innate ability to believe and adapt to a new thought process. But remember, it's also a search engine. If you don't give it something new, it's going to go back to what it knows. And what it knows is fear. So again, you have to feed it new information, or it's going to go back, because it's always searching for you. If you ask it a question, it's always searching for an answer, Krista. But it's going to go back to what it knows if you don't give it something new. It's just the way the brain works, right?
So it's a matter of practicing all the time. So recognizing what your and being okay with it, what your fear is, and then restating it in a positive direction, giving yourself proof to validate what the restatement is, and on a continuous basis, when you wake up, before you have lunch, when you feel yourself getting stressed, if the anxiety comes, you remind yourself before you go to bed, kind of like your affirmations. One really good thing to do too, which I actually do, and I actually provide it to my students, is I write down my own positive affirmations, and I've recorded them and put them on my own voice on my affirmations, and I listen to it at the gym while I'm getting ready, while I'm making dinner, and it's me hearing myself say how great I am. You know?
You know what, honestly, what people are getting right now, really hardcore, Krista, is it's good to love yourself. What you do,
oh yeah,
laughing at before, they're realizing they've had time to pause and realize they need to self-reflect, look at their fears, and then also realize, gosh, Krista, you guys are all freaking epic. We have been given a God-given birthright, each of us, with our own unique genetic blueprint to thrive. It's a done deal. Like, it's already happened. I mean, if you want me to go freaking quantum physics on you, I will. Because what you're thinking, what you want, actually has already happened. Okay? It's just waiting for you to catch up. It's waiting for your brain to stop acting all crazy in the fear component and catch up to where you're supposed to be going. What you want has actually already happened. Now you have to visualize it to come even closer to you now. The universe is working for you. God is working for you. It's saying, I put a lot of great shizzy in you. It's time to ante up. Here you go. Here's your platform. We were meant to be abundant. And until people actually really understand that, really get it. And I know people are like, sometimes it sounds foo-foo, Jennifer. I'm like, I get that. But when you start practicing incantations like this, you will start seeing coincidences. You will start seeing, business people coming to you that you never thought would want to even have anything to do with you. You're going to start having friends call you and text you. I kid you not. When I get done with the incantations, I kid you not, Krista, I have friends that like, Jen, I just think you're so amazing. I'm here for you if you need support. I get business meetings that I never thought I could get. This stuff works.
It's the funny thing is that what you're saying, I teach and I practice, and I talk about it on previous podcasts. I teach my students, and Jennifer and I did not talk about what to speak about before this podcast. I just knew she was a health and wellness coach, and I was like, my people need positivity right now from someone more than just me. Come on in. And here she is saying the exact same thing that we teach and talk about all the time. So, there's a reason why successful people are successful. It's because they work on their mind. They read books like Cybergenetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz, and they believe in all this scientific research. And what you're saying, it's all based upon scientific evidence. It's all based upon scientific research. Our brains, are built to thrive and give us what we think about, and the little neurons activate, and they don't know the difference between what you're actually doing and what you're not doing. And so visualization is so important with that. How often do you do that? Visualize.
You know what? So I visualize daily. I probably meditate and visualize and do incantations more frequently now since everything's been happening, because we're getting a lot of fear-based, I call it energetic squiggles coming at us. Because even though I don't believe the fears, we're still getting hit with it. So I would say I've upped it. But now I've upped it more frequently. And the biggest thing besides these incantations and mindset, Krista, that are really important for the listeners to understand.
Hold on one second right there, because they want to know exactly what is important to understand. So we're going to take a quick break. All right. So sit back. If you're ready to be fired up, get more Jennifer to find out exactly what you need to understand and know. As you guys all know, right now through this crisis, we are giving away our 3 clients in 30-day free challenge. This is where you're going to get personally coached by me every single day. I'll be going live and working directly with you, coaching and helping you learn how to utilize digital marketing strategies to be the authority expert in your field. All you need to do is go to www.kristamashore.com. That's www.kristamashore.com. And again, this is absolutely free. We've never offered it free before, but we're doing it because we know we're here to help and support you. Okay, Jennifer, welcome back. So now do me a favor and tell me exactly what it is that you were going to say.
Absolutely. Mindset is so key, Krista, like you said. And there's so many different angles to get that. And I like to give tips that are really, I'm a minimalist and I want to give powerful tips. And I loved what we just talked about. But the other piece, and I know you've seen it too, and this is, again, pre-corona, when you sit in the Starbucks and you see people walking around like corpses.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell their soul is just not there, that they're walking around aimlessly. It's almost like they're kind of outside body, or they just don't seem like they're all there. They seem really stressed. And a lot of that, again, is this lack of understanding who they really are, that they're not really being seen. You know, so much of our society and having 20 to-do lists and eating crappy and not exercising and hanging out with toxic people in our environmental pollutions and all this stuff is creating people to be climbing up these ladders and climbing up these false summits and going, what the hey? This is not even me. This is not even what I want. And that's the soul part that I really work on with people, that is just as important. That people right now, you know, pre-corona, we're already walking around like zombies. Okay, and that's a hard.
And our heads are down. I mean, it's like everywhere you go, people's heads are down, and they're not even looking at each other. And you see couples out to dinner with their kids, and they're all on their phones, and they're not even listening. I mean, how many times are you talking to someone, they're really not even listening? They're in their own head and not present. I really feel like, you know, we need to look at some of the blessings that have happened because of this. And I mean, we have to look at some of the positives. And what I find is that even for me, I'm making dinner more. You know, my dad actually has the coronavirus. He is doing absolutely phenomenal right now, but we thought we were going to lose him. It was really, really scary. He was actually on a cruise and came home, and within 2 days of being on the cruise for 3 weeks, he ended up coming down with it. Had a fever for over 2 weeks, over 14 days. And he was miserable, and we just had hope, and we believed, and he got the medicine. He ended up getting 200. Anyways, he got medicine from his doctor, and he got better very, very quickly. But you know, it's made me realize I need to see my parents more. Like, I mean, I haven't been able to see them except through the glass, and it's made me realize I need to see my parents more. I'm happy for that. I'm thankful for that. It's made my children and I do more stuff at home. We did paint night as a family the other night, right? Well, they're helping me make dinner. They're coming up with creative things. Before, I was eating out 4 nights a week because I was so busy. And now I'm realizing, you know what? It's actually easier to eat at home because I don't have to go out and come back. I mean, I'm just fine. And also, another blessing is the fact that I've been able to be so really been working on being the best leader I can to give people hope. It's actually helped even lift me up even more in my space. So there are so many good things about it, and so we need to focus on that.
Absolutely. And this pause is allowing us to really look at our soul piece. And what I mean by soul piece, we're like, what does that mean? That sounds woo. It's really our spiritual self. It's our path, our purpose, our gifts. Why are we here on this earth?
Reset, right? It's like, let's reset. I mean, so many people have just, I don't know. Even if you look outside right now, it is so much, the sky is so much more clear right now. We were on our boat and you could actually see in the water. It's the weirdest thing that's happening. And so I think it just, you know, we needed something to happen because we have been so consumed with technology and our phones and social media, and I can just go on and digital everything, that we've just kind of lost touch. So I think this is a way of us coming back.
Just to see what we really want and what we get to bring to the world. And sometimes I've had people come to me and they're like, I don't know myself. I want to be seen, but I don't even know who I am. And it starts with just small steps. And that's something I even start with people. Not even a technique I can give you right now, Krista, to your listeners, is right now, because you're sitting on your couch a lot, just going into a room by yourself and putting one hand on your heart and one on your pelvis, and those are chakras that brings you back down to your soul self, and just working on a breath technique. And I do a lot of different types of breath techniques for a lot of my viewers.
Give me a kiss. I'm on a podcast thing. Sorry, you can keep talking. I love you.
But there's so many beautiful things that you can do, and it does start with just being willing to be with yourself. And putting your hands on those 2 chakras allow you to ground your soul self and breathe. And I do, again, a lot of breath work with people. And they often find, just by sitting with their hands on themselves and breathing, not even really having an agenda of like, I got to figure out what I want or who I am, just sitting there, things start coming up like, you know what? I'm really kind. I'm very compassionate. I actually have a really big skill set in business, but I'm all these, you know what? I'm a great daughter. I'm a great mother. You know, I'm actually a really good cook, or all these things start coming up because you're spending time with yourself. And your hands have, by the way, also a million nerve endings in them. So they're very healing. When you put them on your heart chakra, which is your connection to yourself and people, and your pelvic chakra, which is, guess what? All about life, giving life, not just about giving birth, but giving life the world and your passions and your purpose. So when you have your hands there, it can dial you in and make you take a deep breath. Because some people are like, I don't know what I want. I've been pushed back into a life I don't even know, and I'm paused, and I'm like, okay, it's time to reset. let's see what you do want. And that's such a beautiful technique that I would encourage a lot of your listeners, Krista, to try. 10 minutes. I can even give you guys, DM you guys, different breath works that I use that are 10 minutes long. You just sit there with your hand on your heart and your pelvis, and you just breathe, and you close your eyes, and you just be with yourself. You start liking yourself, because if you don't like yourself, how do you know what makes you tick? How do you know what gifts you have to serve the world and all the things you want to do in business and with life? You got to get yourself. And like you said, this is a perfect time right now to sit outside in the sun on your porch with a glass of tea and just be with yourself and learn to love yourself. Listen, I love hanging by myself. I love people, but I'm an introvert. I've loved this apocalypse. I'm just saying, not to be insensitive to people, but I've actually been really rejuvenated by it, because it's centered me back to, let me see what my gifts are. What direction do I want to go? What direction do I want to go in business? It's just such a beautiful time.
And there's opportunities. And so one thing I want to tell people too, I really agree with everything you're saying so much. And be open to the opportunities. And when I say opportunities, I don't mean take what's happening and use it as an opportunity in a negative way. I mean, there are opportunities now that are going to be made available to you. Maybe the opportunity is that you hated your job. You hated what you were doing. Now you have the opportunity to get a new one. You have the opportunity to discover what you're good at and go a different direction, right? You have the opportunity to not be stuck at where you were. I mean, that really is an opportunity. You have an opportunity now to learn technology and digital marketing so you can enhance your business, because you've known that you always needed to, and now you're kind of forced to. So that's an opportunity for you to actually start increasing and progressing in business. There's so many things. And if we make ourselves and tell ourselves, I am going to see the opportunity in every situation. I am going to see the opportunity in every situation. I am seeing the opportunity. You will see the opportunities. Opportunities will come to you. Really, really be mindful of what you're saying, what you're thinking. Put on your bracelet like we teach. Snap it and change it on the other wrist if you find yourself being negative, because we want the opportunities to flow. And they will if you allow them to.
And I would totally agree. I mean, businesses right now, we've been given this beautiful opportunity to reset and work on our business. And when you get dialed into your mindset with our first technique, when you get dialed into your soul and sit there, I can't tell you how many times I've sat on my couch doing the mindset piece we just talked about and the hand on the heart and pelvis, and I've had good questions come to me for my business. I've had good actions that come from the questions. It's amazing when you just breathe. When you just sit there and breathe. I've literally sat with clients sometimes that are business owners, like, what do you want me to do today? I'm like, just sit on the couch for 10 minutes. They're like, I know, what do you want me to do? I'm like, sit on the couch for 10 minutes. Like, what? And then they come back to me a day later, like, oh my gosh, I got all these great ideas and this new things I'm doing with my business and even this thing with my kids. And I'm like, I know.
You know, it's so funny to me. So I've never done yoga before, right? So, and my best friend is a yoga instructor, and so we've been doing online yoga, and I am like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you for doing yoga, because I'm just always go, go, go. But it's helped me be more creative. I'm more productive. I'm getting more done. I have more ideas. My team's ready to shoot me because they're like, you have too many ideas and they're all great, but stop. Like, we can't work as fast as your brain is going. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I've just slowed down a little bit. And, I've been more within myself.
Right. Oh, totally. Absolutely. And that's what I mean. Even though I'm an introvert, I am this high achieving type A person. And even for an introvert, you guys, I get it. It's hard for me to slow down.
You would never know you're introverted, by the way, because you don't seem like it.
Yeah, so I'm more, everybody, listeners, when you hear me speak, when you hear me coach, I'm definitely more the social introvert. So I love connecting. I love connecting with people in a variety of platforms. But ultimately, at the end of the day, for me to increase my energy again for the next day, I need solace time. I need hiking by myself. I need a hiking or a glass of wine with only one friend. Like, that is how I rejuvenate myself.
Yeah.
A lot of times people think introvert and extrovert, I know we're going to go on a side tangent, is about talking. It's really about what energizes you. And what energizes me is alone time to get ready for all the things I want to do. There's other people, like Abby mentioned, she gets energized by always being around people. So the quarantine's a little bit harder for her. For me, it's energized me because I'm away from people and I'm getting all these creative ideas for my business. So
yeah.
Anyway, but yes, I love to share. I love to speak. I love to share information to people. That's really easy. I'm like you. I'm a minimalist, Krista, that I just want to give you quick, profound, impactful tips that can get you going quickly. Yes.
So number one tip is recognizing what your biggest fear is, and then writing it down, but then changing that fear, restating that statement, and then giving yourself reasons to justify that new statement, right? Like positive things that have happened in your life. And we all have them, so don't say they're not there. They're there. Yes. Number two, the second one is Well, is visualizing?
Yes, visualization is huge in keeping these incantations and
Mm-hmm.
visualizations, including the one we just gave you, daily and frequently. You got to change your brain. You cannot do it once a week, you guys. It's like training for a marathon once a week.
People need to set their alarms, like set on their phone that says like an alarm that goes off every day that reminds you to like just stop and visualize for a few minutes and then say positive things.
Right, absolutely. And then the third really is yes, we have been given a beautiful opportunity to reset and pause and really align yourself with your soul spiritual purpose. And all that means, everyone, is what is your gifts? What is your path? What is your purpose? What is your vision? And it starts sometimes, if you don't know, that's okay, because a lot of us have been around walking around like zombies even before this happened, right? This is an opportunity to really change that. And it starts with this last technique of hand on heart, hand on pelvis. Just sit and be. Just focus on your breathing. I can give you guys breath techniques for 10 minutes, but what I really want you to get is just be with yourself. And I guarantee you, ideas about your gifts, ideas about how great you are, ideas for your business are going to come to you because you're giving your body an opportunity to take in you, to be you again. That's what it comes down to, for sure.
Yes, I love it. I swear, I completely am in 100% alignment with everything you're saying. I live what you're saying, especially now. Another thing to do, I'm just gonna put my 2 cents in.
Yeah.
One, if you're having a hard time and you're stressed, one of the best ways for you to be less stressed and to be happier is to figure out what you can do to help someone else. Be helpful to somebody else. Pay it forward. Be kind. Make somebody smile. When you take the focus off of you and you put on how you can help somebody else, all of a sudden your life looks a lot better. I promise. It's like we were actually talking, Jennifer and I, before the podcast, and I was saying, given everything that I have going on, you'd think I would be completely just majorly stressed. But because I've been pouring into people so much, I have been dealing with this really, really well. And so give back, be helpful, find something that you love to do and you're passionate about, and go use that passion and that love to help somebody else in that respect.
And that's serving. I would totally agree with you. Serving is so key right now. You don't have to give money, you guys. Serve of your time, of your skill set. Call someone. It doesn't matter. There's a beautiful gift. It makes you feel good in your heart, but it comes back around to you, baby. It 100% comes back around to you. So I agree with that. That's a great one, for sure.
Yeah.
Yay.
You have been so good. So how can people learn more about you?
Oh, yes. I love all of you. Thank you so much for having me, Krista, first and foremost. It's been so much.
Thank you, Miss Jennifer Watson. We appreciate it. You've been great. I want to talk to you about doing if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to have you do a training with my personalized coaching clients, just because I think that they would love you and you're so much in alignment with me.
Absolutely. I would love that. I would love that. But where you can find me the best, where I'm probably the most active, is on my Instagram account, Jennifer Watson Leadership. You can also go to my website, jenniferwatsonleadership.com, learn more about me, my coaching, the type of speaking I do, all that. But I want to be here to support you guys, answer any questions you have. I do have, for any of the listeners, if you are still stuck, or if you're feeling that you need a little bit extra support, I do have a free hour of power that you can schedule right from my website. So if people were wanting a little bit more support beyond here, or even just want to DM me on Instagram, find out a little bit more about me, or have additional questions, that's where they probably can go the best to reach me.
I love it. I love it. So you have been just so wonderful. I really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy woman and just a powerhouse. So I always ask people one last question, which you don't know about this. So if you had to give one piece of advice, just one piece of advice to make people have a better life, better business, whatever it might be, what would that piece of advice be?
Be humble.
Oh, I like that.
Humility. I think right now, especially even now, which is funny, I would have even said this before the coronavirus, is humility is going to get you really far, because humility expands your mind to be willing to learn from others, to learn from your mistakes, to learn from others' mistakes, to learn from your own growth, your own journey, from other people's journey. Humility right now, and something I'm continuing to just redefine myself, but being humble every day allows your heart to be open to good relationships, allows your heart to be open to good money, because you're being humble in how you're asking for it, in being humble in how you're asking for your health. Humility is really the big piece that I really encourage people to really focus on. It, ironically, besides serving's another big one for me, but humility and serving are where I really want to see people focus, where I love to focus. And when you're willing to be humbled and open your eyes, so much goodness comes to you. It's just like serving. It comes back to you because you grow, adapt, and learn, become even more of a powerhouse in all the things you want to do. Health, wealth, business, relationships. I'm telling you, you're unstoppable. With humility and service, you're unstoppable. I really believe that.
Humility and service. You heard the woman. Okay, everyone. Jennifer, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. You were amazing. I love your energy. I love your message. I completely align with you. And listeners, remember, I want you to know how much we appreciate you spending just a small part of your day with me and with Jennifer. It really, really is important. And so thank you so much. We're here to serve. And as always, remember, we are giving away our 3 clients in 30-day challenge. This is for any local professional or business. You'll get personalized coaching directly from me, live trainings, 20 days in a row. It is 100% free. Just go to KristaMashore.com/challenge, KristaMashore.com/challenge. And as always, everyone, make it a great day and smile. Thank you so much for being here.